Don't be scared. I'm scared too, but this is for the best. Everything is going to be okay. Everything is going to be okay.
Understanding human behavior and mental processes, whether our own or those belonging to others, is essential if you want to make better decisions and lead greater lives. One question, however, intrigues everyone. Why do we feel certain emotions in specific situations? What can we do to overcome the things that hold us back? Delve into the world of Omori and build a better relationship with your mind. Learn how to be kind to it, unlock its absolute potential, and utilize it to your own benefit. In the pages that follow throughout our lives, we explore what it means to be emotionally intelligent, how to heal our inner child wounds, the challenges of adolescence, and why separateness is essential for connection. The 5 stages of grief, denial, anger, bargaining, depression, and acceptance, were introduced by Elizabeth Kubler-Ross, a Swiss-American psychiatrist, back in 1969 in her famous book, On Death and Dying. Over time, the model was generalized to explain how people grieve various forms of loss, not just death. And in Omori, the phenomenon of dread and loss is well apparent in the storyline, mirrored through the emotional journeys of its central characters. But what is grief? Grief is a deep feeling of sorrow or sadness, especially after losing someone or something important. This might be the death of a loved one, the end of a relationship, or even losing a job or a dream. It's a natural emotional response to loss. People might cry, feel numb, angry, guilty, or even confused at times. Grief can affect our thoughts, emotions, behavior, and overall mental health. The initial stage of grief, denial, is wonderfully reflected in the eyes of Sunny, our main protagonist. He becomes increasingly silent and withdrawn, cutting ties with his friends altogether. These are the early boiling signs of grief. After the incident, just hours before the recital, Sunny creates Headspace, a dream world born within his mind. This ultimately contributes to the birth of his ultimate subconscious, Omori. His denial is so deeply rooted that he creates a haven for his memories to grow, uninterrupted, ideal, untouched. Sounds beautiful at first, doesn't it? But the reality awaits, and if you try to run from it for over 4 years, it's no longer comfort, it's denial at its strongest. Anger is just sadness that had nowhere to go for a long time. This quote perfectly captures Aubrey's arc in Omori, how her outward aggression is really a shield for her grief and abandonment. Undoubtedly, Aubrey was one of the sweetest roles in the story, but the loss of someone dear to your heart eventually devastates you. Knowing that person is gone forever, never to come back, never to shout your name outside your house is... And I played it. It was really fun, actually. I really loved it. The story was absolutely amazing. I loved it. If you have time, would you like to come to my house? I would show you the game. We can play like the first part of the game together. Bargaining, the third stage of grief, is where the mind clings to what-ifs and only-ifs in a desperate attempt to undo the pain. It's not about logic, it's about survival. And only a few characters embody this stage more tragically than Basil. After Mori's death, he falls into a spiral of guilt, constantly replaying the moment he helped Sunny to stage her suicide. His inner dialogue becomes a loop of silent bargains. If I don't tell anyone, maybe things can't stay the same. If I protect the truth, maybe I won't lose everything. His needs to preserve the illusion of a perfect past is his way of bargaining with reality, trying to control a story that's already shattered. Every photograph he hides, every smile he forces, is part of the deal he's made with himself. That by pretending nothing happened, he can keep his friends, his sanity, and his world from falling apart. But like all bargains born of grief, it doesn't last. Eventually, the truth begins to seep through the cracks. Depression, the fourth stage of grief, is where the weight of loss finally sinks in. The bargaining fades, denial crumbles, and what's left is a hollow ache that refuses to be ignored. It's not just sadness. It's a heavy stillness, a numbness that spreads into everything. In Omori, Hiro becomes the quiet embodiment of the stage. Once the dependable, cheerful older brother, he vanishes into isolation, shutting down emotionally. He stops cooking, stops smiling. Time just passes. It's as if life lost its color the day Mari died. This goes on for about a year. And while the others try to cope in their own dysfunctional ways, Hiro sinks into silence. His depression is unspoken but always present. When he returns to faraway town, it's not triumphant, but it's reluctant. He wants to visit Mari's grave.
I'm not ready yet.
He says, making it clear that he hasn't moved on. Maybe he can't move on. Because for Hiro, depression isn't a phase. It's the shadow that follows him home. On the other hand, acceptance doesn't necessarily mean everything's okay. It doesn't mean the pain is gone. It means understanding that life has changed and choosing to keep going anyway. Kel, in the storyline, represents this quiet strength. Unlike the others, he doesn't bury his emotions in guilt or silence. He grieves too, but he moves forward. He reaches out, even when it's hard. He tries to bring the group back together, not because he's forgotten Mari, but because he's accepted that healing comes from connection, not avoidance. Kel's optimism isn't ignorance, it's resilience. He still talks about the past, but he doesn't like living in it. While Hiro locks himself away and Omori lashes out, Kel knocks on Sunny's door, invites him outside, and insists that the world is still worth being a part of. For Kel, acceptance looks like living fully because of the people they've lost, not despite them. It's not the absence of grief. It's learning how to carry it and still smile. Grief isn't linear. Emotional intelligence isn't about being strong all the time. However you interpret it, it's about understanding your mind and listening when it speaks in sorrow. Omori doesn't just tell us story. It shows us how our minds fracture and how they begin to heal. Sometimes we lose people we thought would always be there. Sometimes we become strangers to ourselves, refusing to even look at the mirror. We shut doors, bury memories, replay what-ifs like unbroken records in our heads. We pretend we're fine because saying we're not feels too heavy, too real. But the truth is, healing doesn't come all at once. It comes in quiet mornings, when you choose to get out of bed, in the text you finally sent, in the friend you let back in the memory that no longer makes you cry but makes you grateful instead. Omori is a reminder that even if you feel like a ghost in your own life, you're not alone. You're not broken. You're just healing. And healing, no matter how slow or painful, it's still a movement. It's still life. So if you're still hurting, be gentle with yourself. And if you're still running, just know that it's okay to stop sometimes. There's still time to open the door. Still time to come home. This is how we grow. This is how we begin all over again.